same place, same job, different day, get in line and daydream. There must be something for me, I just keep sinking. I just keep thinking, cause I feel caught up in a new kind of low, like I'm losing my mind and I'm losing control. There's gotta be something somewhere, there's gotta be something out there in a world that feels so great. You light the sky and you pay in the day. J-O-Y, J-O-Y.
Good evening. I'm Ben George, and this is where put my false teeth in. This is Where's My Mind on Black Country Extra. Just me today because Sam's not here, but we are joined by Mark Terry and Alex Ohm. How are you guys doing?
Very well, thanks, mate.
Evening, all good, thank you.
Brilliant. So that first track obviously was one of Alex's tunes, and yeah. So what's happening then, Mark? Tell us why we're here today.
Well, I'm here to talk about a show that I'm putting on at Newhampton Arts Centre on Saturday. It's called Community. And it's designed really as a celebration of everything that we do locally, especially around sort of the West Midlands, the Black Country, and shouting about people such as Alex and the great talent that we've got around here.
Yeah, fantastic. It's a cracking venue, isn't it? What a place. You told me it's outside and then like a teepee kind of thing, did you say? Or?
It is, yeah. As most gigs these days are, it's postponed from its original date in January, when it would have been in the main arena. But we're hosting Community in the New Horizons tent. Which is outside the Newhampton's newest sort of venue, so to speak, and looks like the weather's going to be grand, so it should be a good day.
So you're definitely going to have that festival vibe if the weather's nice, or even if it chucks it down, it'll still be very festively. So do you advise people to attend wearing wellies, just in case?
I don't think there's going to be that much mud on the car park, so we should be good in that respect.
What's the toilet situation as well?
You can go inside for that.
Okay, fair enough. That's very civilised. Grand. So Alex, what's new with you?
We're sort of just getting ready for our summer dates at the moment. So we've got Community on Saturday, and then we're in Bury St Edmunds on Friday to play Bard Fest, which looks a great lineup as well. And then we've got a few other summer dates through to August, and then we're looking towards September onwards then, and maybe getting back on the road and playing some indoor venues, wherever we can really.
Sounds busy. But busy's good.
It keeps us out of trouble.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
So have you got any more sort of like any releases coming out soon as well as the live stuff? Or?
We're in the studio. We're releasing, we aim to release those next year. We're doing a batch of songs that we're hoping to put together for an album. A lot of new songs, a lot of things that we haven't released before. So that's pretty exciting because, we've been through a few lineup changes and trying to get back onto track so we can move forward. Which, as you know, being a fellow musician, you just want to keep writing and recording new music so people have got fresh things to listen to. So we're really looking forward to getting those back out.
Yeah, brilliant, man. And whenever you have it released, you're welcome back on to become and promote it for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So, Mark, why don't you tell us about how you got into the sort of music promotion side of things?
Sure. If I'm honest, I don't really yet consider myself a promoter.
Oh, he's being modest.
Yeah.
First event and all that. But yeah, I think over the years that I've been going to see live music, which is now probably more than I probably should declare, I've made a lot of friends in local bands. I've seen some fantastic acts, some in small venues that have gone on to become really, really massive. And live music's just something that I've really, really sort of come to love. And I think when, as everybody did in 2020, that was removed from us and taken from us because of the COVID pandemic, it's a bit of a shock to the system. And you start kind of thinking, what's next? And it had always been a little bit of an ambition to put my own show on. I didn't really know where to start. Have no musical talent myself. I mean, can't even tune an air guitar. So, but coming up to a milestone birthday and just reevaluating where I was personally, I just thought it's now or never. Yeah, and that was the catalyst, really, to speak to people like Alex to see whether we could get something going.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, absolutely. There's never like a best time. You just jump in and do it, and it sounds like you've got lots of motivation, lots of experience going to gigs. So putting that into promotion side sounds like an ideal match, really.
Yeah.
So would you say? Sorry, I cut you off there, didn't I? My bad. Sorry. I told you I'd mess this up, but clumsy as anything.
I was just going to say I certainly hope so. But yeah, it's been a long time in the planning. It's exciting now that it's literally just 2 days away.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a cracking lineup as well. You've got some great acts coming on. We're looking forward to hearing some of their tracks later on. Yeah. Probably a lot of artists that people are quite familiar with if they've ever been to any gig on the local circuit. And very well chosen. So I guess should we start with an acoustic performance? I say start. We've already started many minutes ago. I'm waffling though. Shall we continue with an acoustic performance from Alex? Is there a track you'd like to play for us?
Yeah. I'll play a little track off an EP that we released. I lose track of what day it is. It was at the beginning of last year. Yeah, it was last year. It was last year, Mark, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I've lost track of all time. So I'm going to do a little track called Sometimes, and it's an acoustic version of quite a rocky number. So
nice. Let's hear it. Yeah, sure.
Sometimes when it's late I go driving at night while the world is sleeping in dreams. We're all escaping from the gutter to the stars. I'm sleeping on my feet, you're the same as me, trying to find a way out of here. Tell me what you find when you open up your eyes. Sometimes, as the sunset envelopes stay alive and sends us into darkness, then I will dream another little dream for you, for you. Sleeping on my feet, you're the same as me, trying to find a way out of here. Tell me what you find when you open up your eyes. Sometimes I'm sleeping on my feet. You're the same as me, trying to find a way out of here. Tell me what you find when you open up your eyes. Sometimes I'm sleeping on my feet. You're the same as me, I'm trying to find a way out of here. Tell me what you find when you open up your eyes. Sometimes.
Yes. There's a run note in there as well.
Well, I can see why you booked him, Mark. That was phenomenal. Really enjoyed that, man. So, who would you say, like, and obviously there are probably a number of people that you'd expect, but who are your influences, Alex? Like, what inspired you to take up music, and how, what's that song inspired by?
It's a hard one, isn't it? You yourself probably has the same sort of experiences with music, and I could list artists for days, months, years. I think my dad was obviously a massive influence on me, picking up a guitar and recording, and he used to have a massive old 4-track. He used to have a vinyl player on top, and he used to record songs with his friends, and I think that's like where the curiosity first grabbed me. Hearing how that you could put instruments together and different sounds, and that it was different tracks rather than just one thing as a whole. But I was more into art, so that's the direction I followed, and then seeing friends in bands through college and uni, I thought that looks pretty cool. Travelling to Manchester to watch them and things like that. I thought I wouldn't mind having a go at that. So around that time, obviously, I was big into the Verve, and the things that they were doing for like the second album that they put out. I really like that, and then obviously the Urban Hymns, Badly Drawn Boy, Out of the Blue, All the Beast is one of my favourite albums as well. And then I got into Uncle through enjoying like Radiohead and Richard Ashcroft, and what I really enjoyed about Lonely Souls was the fusion of sort of classical music and hip hop beats, and then like indie guitars, that sort of thing. I thought I just love the culmination of all these different sounds creating something new. Mm-hmm. So those, and then the likes of obviously Bob Dylan, his lyricism, Bon Iver, Arcade Fire. It's just a massive melting pot, really.
Yeah, sounds great, man. It's a great concoction.
Yeah. That song was partly written in lockdown, and it was about sort of, the struggles of trying to be successful in what you're doing, really, and juggling a job as well as making music, and sometimes you can feel a bit burnt out, and then finding peace in just driving around late at night, really, after gigs, and some of the best times to just drive. The roads are clear, you can listen to music, free your mind and things like that. And so that's what that's about, really. Yeah,
fair enough, man. I agree with you. I think after a gig driving around, there is a certain sort of euphoria to be found in the aftermath. I mean, I don't know if it's the same for you, but me, I'm absolutely like bricking it on the way to, not to the gig itself, but to the sound check. I worry about getting there on time and sound checking. But when I'm playing, I feel great. But for me, it's the after the release, of performing to people. It's the after part, going around, driving in the middle of the night. That kind of, not that I drive, I just hitch a ride with the rest of the band.
There is something good about it, though. It's very like chilled and relaxed, and
absolutely
the road is yours.
That's right. So, Mark, who else have you got booked for the festival, the gig? You billing it as a festival or a gig, or is it like a?
I suppose it's a gig, really. It's an all-day gig. But the fact that it's in a tent means that you could call it what you want, really. Yeah. I think that the word that I really apply to it really is just a celebration.
Yeah. Okay. So, cool, man.
But yeah, I mean, one of the other acts that we've got that I think we're going to hear a song from in the minute is a fella called Ian Passy, also known as the Humdrum Express.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ian's somebody that again I've got to know over the last couple of years by going to see him live. Real sort of clever lyricist, almost like a kind of a half man, half biscuit from Kidderminster.
Yeah, it's great.
And yeah, really looking forward to seeing him sort of performing a set on Saturday as well.
Absolutely. You know, I've never actually managed to catch him. Obviously, I've seen him around and all over social media and all that, but I like that song, the e-petition to stop e-petitions. Yeah. I don't know what it's called exactly, but it's clever. It is clever.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Ian as well.
Yeah, great. I mean, his new single, The Gig Chatterer, which sort of, you know, berides, is that the right word? Berides? Berates people that, you know, that don't listen when you're on stage and ruins it for everybody else. Hopefully we won't have any reason for him to play that, but he probably will anyway.
It's a great thing to highlight, that is, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
it happens a lot.
We had like our last gig. We were just supporting this band at the O2 Institute, and there was like a university group there, and you know they were wearing like Baywatch outfits and had bloody like lifeguard whistles and throughout the set. Yeah. I was praying for a shark attack, to be honest with you. So anyway, yeah, I guess we're going to hear Humdrum Express now. I noticed the T-shirt as well, cool T-shirt.
Yeah, I was saying to Alex earlier, he hasn't done any black T-shirts. And,
for a likely story.
The middle-aged spread, it's nicely concealed in this one. But yeah.
These videos are cool as well, Ian's are, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
He's got some really great videos.
Yeah, he usually puts sort of call-outs on Facebook and so on for people to just rock up.
Yeah.
And be a star themselves.
Did they do one? It was like a zombie walk kind of thing. Yeah.
So Stourbridge, wasn't it?
Yeah. Fair play. Oh yeah, let's hear him then.
Got a bucket hat, wellies on and sunscreen applied. Though I know this weekend I won't venture outside. We're isolating and I'm left on my own. The festival's been cancelled, so I'm festivaling at home. Cheap cans of cider scattered on the floor, and I don't mind admitting I've pitched a tent indoors. Been studying the lineup, see who was on when and where. Gonna watch them all on YouTube, pretending that I'm there. A notable advantage to my event homemade is I won't have to mix it with the I was there brigade. In a field of thousands, I feel alone when the crowd all sing that song. We used to sell iPhones, and they all go, whoa, whoa, whoa. I hope I've got enough booze for the duration. My food stall's basic, need more variation. The authentic outside toilets I've adopted with an ease. Sparks memories of past use festival facilities. The online streaming fails to come close. Got intermittent Wi-Fi and I think I've overdosed. Buffering issues for the bands I'd have enjoyed. Yeah, always picture perfect for the ones that I'd avoid. And they all go, whoa, whoa, I know it's cruel to raise a smile as I watch the pouring rain. For once my tent's not leaking, think I might do this again. I'm grateful for small mercies when all is said and done. With a social distance from those bores who leave their wristbands on. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Country Extra.
Excellent. So that was Ian Passy with AKA the Humdrum Express. And what made you choose that tune, Mark?
I think it's kind of synonymous with the inspiration for community, to be fair. It's not being able to go out and see bands, sort of watching live streams and, trying to sort of keep in touch with everybody that way. It really sums up 2020 in a nutshell, really. So, yeah, I thought it was quite an appropriate tune.
Yeah, definitely. Some funny lyrics as well. It's great. Yeah, live streams out. It seems like a lifetime ago now, doesn't it? Gigs have started again. Every day, just sitting there trying to get the angle right on the camera, and we did a Black Country Radio one actually with Ian Murray, and for whatever reason we just couldn't get the tech working, and it was like the biggest flop ever. It was so embarrassing. It felt so bad because he was on there trying to sweat everything out, and I was just like. And
to be fair, without live streams, again, it's questionable as to whether community would have come together.
Yeah,
I mean, Alex was really, really prominent. He was doing sort of Facebook, sort of Twitch, Instagram videos. I mean, I'm not sure whether it was me or Alex that dubbed it the Home Alone tour, but to be fair, he was never on his own. I always felt like I was in his loft because I was watching him sort of every day. But being able to get close to people in that sense, made it a lot easier to have that conversation around, will you come and play community? Yeah.
Did either of you guys ever at any point feel that music was done? Cause for me, I kind of catastrophized the whole thing. Obviously, it was a very serious situation, but I had such genuine fear that music was done, that it was never going to come back and gigs would never be the same and we're all going to be, living in bunkers for the rest of our lives.
Did feel that way, didn't it?
Yeah.
It felt like it was never going to return to normal again. And it's still not really. But there was a point you thought, this is never going to end.
Yeah.
It's like, right, we're going to be free in a month. And it's like, actually, wait another 6 months and then we'll see. But in some ways, I felt it was great because it sort of like leveled everybody to the same sort of platform. Yeah. It was like nobody was better than anybody else. Everybody had to make do with a camera. Like you got Rod Stewart with just like a phone in his house and playing a guitar, or his wife playing guitar or whatever. So it was nice in that respect, and it was also nice to actually be able to have the time, because normally we're playing gigs left, right and centre, to check out other acts and speak to those guys, through the different socials. And people like Mark who, tuning in and showing an interest. So that was great. But it did feel like it was never going to return to real gigs.
Thank God you stepped in, Mark. So it's a great event you're putting forward.
It is,
definitely. And let's hope this never happens again with the COVID. Oh, it was terrifying. But yeah, you're right. I think I'm more of a pessimist. You must be very optimistic, Alex. I was such a pessimist.
I think, it was quite. I think there was just so much going on. Obviously, working and before it happened, before the pandemic, so it was quite nice in some ways to go. Actually, I got a bit of like quiet time now, and if I want to play music, I can just do it from home rather than drive an hour and then set up and then, like you say. So it sort of just put a bit of like a slant on it, like the gig. But I'm glad it's finished now, because after the novelty, I thought ran out quite quickly. Playing to a phone and just seeing thumbs floating up the screen and hearts, as lovely as that was. And then
not the same connection, is it?
And then, like you say, like half the time people are going, has the connection dropped out? And you're like, I don't think so. I can still see myself. And then it was a weird experience.
Yeah.
Am I right in thinking though that you used the time also to learn to play piano as well?
I did start, yeah.
Nice.
I'm still doing bits and pieces, yeah.
That's class.
Which was great. Again, just having that time, which you take for granted. Now it's like trying to squeeze in 10 minutes here and there.
Yeah.
But brought a piano on what money we were getting paid from the government.
That's what's your day job then, Alex? If I don't mind me asking.
I teach.
Oh, do you? What do you teach?
So I work in with children with disabilities.
Oh, right, cool.
So got a little class.
Yeah.
And so I started. I was supplying throughout the pandemic, and then started working for Penhall School in last September. So trying to juggle the two, music and teaching.
It's tricky. My brother's a teacher as well.
Okay, cool.
He teaches music in a secondary school in like rough part of Brum.
Okay.
It comes up quite frustrated sometimes, you know.
I thought you guys would be like sort of going for the grime look then, like.
Yeah, well, yeah, that could be a change in direction for sure. Yeah,
That's cool. That's cool.
So then, Mark, I suppose based on what we've just been talking about, did you feel that the sort of pandemic and the absence of gigs made people sort of hungry again for live music?
Me maybe, but I'm not so sure about everybody else. I think the industry as a whole acknowledges that it's been difficult getting people back out, and the Music Venue Trust's been doing some great work with some of the buy one get one free tickets, for argument's sake. But yeah, I mean, one of the ways in which I kind of try to keep a bit of a mental hold on it myself was I list all the gigs that I've been to, and I list all the gigs that I might be able to go to. So all of a sudden,
it's very organised.
I think it's a bit sad and desperate is what most people would describe it as. But yeah, I think, you know, like Alex says, you know, it's a matter of sort of blending life and sort of leisure.
Yeah.
And sometimes you haven't quite got the time that you want to be able to go and see everything. So you kind of pick your best. But kind of seeing gigs announced and saying, well, that's going to happen. That's something to look forward to, rather than
definitely.
I can't do it now. And if it's rearranged, it's like, okay, well, it's still going to happen. So from a mental health perspective, I found that a real benefit, I suppose, in keep looking forward, you know, trying to stay out of the moment, and sort of not worrying about COVID as such, and the fact that I haven't caught it, you know, family haven't caught it. What if I did? So just trying to perspective, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was an incredibly tough time for lots of people with mental health, whether they had, you know, sort of pre-existing mental health issues, or if they, you know, sort of had them as a result of the sort of the panic around COVID. And I guess you said earlier that sort of off the microphone that this event's quite special because it's raising awareness for Samaritans. There's some.
That's right. I mean, you know, obviously I'm aware that different people have different mental health issues, and I've always felt very, very lucky that it's not something that I've really had to consider too much myself. But I defy anybody, you know, to not admit that the last 2 years have affected them in some way. And unfortunately, not everybody can deal with it quite as easily. So whilst it's great for me to think about planning and sort of curating a bunch of fantastic artists and getting a load of people in a room to have a great time, not everybody feels that they're in that particular place. So being able to use that also as a vehicle to raise money for Samaritans felt like the right thing to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a great cause. They are, you know, a fantastic organisation. Also worth mentioning Papyrus as well, Papyrus, I don't know how you pronounce it. And they sort of deal specifically with younger suicides, don't they? And I suppose I might as well put a shout out now to my the organisation I work for. They're based in Birmingham though, so not necessarily Black Country based, but at the same time they've got lots of information on the website out there for anybody who's going through like perinatal mental health. So that's, you know, mental health during pregnancy and then up to 2 years afterwards. For both parents, you know, for dads, mums and partners as well. So if anybody is in that respect, you're looking for some support, then check out Acacia. Just Google Acacia Family Support, and there's tons on there about mental health perinatally. Yeah, grand, shameless plug. But it's a good plug though. It's for a charity. Yeah.
People need to know.
Grand. So I guess should we go into another track now? Who else is on the gig?
Well, we've got plenty more to talk about, but one of the songs that I've picked is Bryony Williams. Bryony's another person that's really sort of making a mark in the local scene.
She's doing well, yeah.
Yeah. She was handpicked from hundreds of applicants at the end of last year to support James as part of their pre-arena sort of tour.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, you know, she played KK Steel Mill in Wolverhampton, all in conjunction with Wolves Records. So again, we've even got the local football club now getting involved in music and trying to sort of build a community that way. So yeah, I picked one of Bryony's songs. So
it's a great track. I was listening to it earlier. It kind of reminds me, and she always has anyway, kind of some elements of like PJ Harvey and a bit of St. Vincent in some regards as well. But yeah, she's great sound. I've had the privilege to be on the bill with her once, I think. Yeah. You lose track, don't you, Alex? Like all the people you've been in the bill with. Like, we've been in the bill with you, and I think I haven't managed to catch a full set of yours yet because I've always had to go off somewhere.
Yeah, you're always doing something at gigs, aren't you?
Yeah.
You have the loading gear out or catching up with people, and
Yeah.
and that's again going back to what watching live sets from home, actually being able to take in somebody's music without any distractions really. But yeah, Bryony's great. She's doing really well, and she's just a great person. So it's good to see her doing well.
Brilliant. Let's hear Bryony.
Your door, and I don't know what's real anymore. I'm in my head, but I feel brain dead. Engulfed by depression, it knows me better than my friends and family. Oh, it's clever, hits me whenever. Oh, it's clever, hits me whenever. Prey on the weak, man, I'm being responsibility is not for me. I can't move on. Everybody else has gone, has gone. It's lonely over here, it's empty over there. I look in the mirror and face my stare. Oh, it's clever, hits me whenever. Oh, it's clever, hits me whenever. I come knocking at your door, and I don't know what's real anymore. I'm in my head, but I feel brain dead. Blinded by lights and misery, never self-help but forgery. That's enough, that's enough, that's enough, that's enough. I'm done, I'm done.
Oh, some great production on that track. Do you know where she records out of interest?
No, I was just wondering that myself.
There's no. Where do you record actually?
We use RML Studios in
Yeah,
Wolverhampton.
we done a track there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we-
by the radio, isn't it?
Yeah, Roy Pinson.
Yeah, we did. Craig Davis, not to be confused with Craig David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take? 7 days.
Yeah, it's 7 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday we did the drums and yeah, good stuff. So yeah, Bryony, she's definitely making waves, isn't she? Yeah, she's done well. Very well.
Yeah.
And she plays that lovely Telecaster. She plays like some, I can't remember off the top of my head, but
I
it's a
think-
beautiful
did
looking
you say
guitar.
Answers on a postcard.
Yeah, that's it. It's not relevant to Zoot's geek now, but I suppose. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, what made you choose that song? Was there anything lyrically that fit in, or was it pure coincidence?
pure coincidence, to be fair. It's a song that I think is really, really powerful from a musical perspective, and it's the tunes that tend to sort of come to me first rather than lyrics. But it was interesting, obviously being mindful of the background to today's show, and the Where Is My Mind theme, obviously listening even more closely to some of the lyrics that Bryony's written there. It's really, really apt in the bigger scheme of what we're talking about.
Yeah. Do you know what she's got planned at the moment? She did any more tours or anything like that? Or?
I know she did kind of a nationwide tour. I think was it earlier this year or the end of last year again, losing track of time. I know she's been doing a lot of sort of travelling.
She went to Australia or something, didn't she?
She's been everywhere. I mean, follow the social feeds, and it's like, blimey. But impressively, I think one of the most beautiful places that she posted recently was 10 minutes from where I live in Wolverhampton.
Oh, nice, fair.
So yeah, it just shows that you've got great places on your doorstep.
Yeah.
But I think she's looking to get out and tour again later this year. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's really good. And I bet yourself, have you got any? I've already asked you, Alex. I'm repeating myself. I'm sorry, man.
Ask away.
My brain is hanging upside down, as the Ramones would say. Yeah. Yes. Okay. I like to leave an awkward pause sometimes as well, just to soak in the atmosphere. Right. Okay. So the whole, the sort of Samaritan side, is that a cause that's like been sort of close to your heart for a long time? Or was it something that sort of came about during the lockdown and the sort of effect it's had on everybody?
I think the lockdown really, it's just that sort of greater awareness that not everybody's as lucky as I consider myself. Mental health is something that is very much more at the forefront of sort of everyday life now. So Samaritans do a lot of fantastic work. Yeah. It's important that there's people like that on the end of a phone to be able to help if people need to talk to anybody. So they need supporting.
Absolutely, they are great, and hold my hands up as well. I have spoken to him in the past myself when I've had my low periods, and I won't go into too much detail, but they for anybody out there who needs to speak to them, it's not just phone now. You can send them emails as well if you feel too shy to talk to them, and it's confidential, it's non-judgmental, and sometimes you can't talk to your friends and your family, even your really close friends and family, and just to have an impartial kind of point of view can be really beneficial. And I suppose people need to realise that mental health is much more common than we're sort of led to believe. Everybody goes through it in some capacity in their life, and it's not always a linear journey. Sometimes you'll have peaks and troughs. You won't always make a recovery, then you're good for the rest of your life. You have to be realistic and manage your expectations that you might go back and you might have another dark period. But with talking about it, it can be very cathartic, and seeking support, you can gather different techniques and sort of strategies to help manage. And it's 21st century, you shouldn't have to suffer in silence. If anybody does experience mental health, then you should reach out, and there is support out there. Some of the organisations mentioned earlier, for example. But yeah, even check out Mind as well. If you're completely stuck, even if you're just interested in mental health, even if you haven't experienced it yourself, or you experience it through a friend or family, have a read about it. That can really help. Look at Mind. Look at websites like OCD Action. Look at like Bipolar UK, things like that. Yeah, I kind of hijacked then, didn't I? But it's important. We're talking about mental health. It's very important to talk about it. Yeah.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, producer popping in.
Hi, Maz, by the way, in case anybody didn't recognise Maz.
Hello. As musicians, I mean, both of you have full-time jobs, or you're working, you're still trying to do your passion, play as many gigs as you can, create songs. That is a lot of capacity that you're using up. What support systems are there for people like yourselves? I mean, I imagine there's other local musicians and artists who are going through the same thing. It's hard to juggle the passion versus, getting a paycheck.
What's a paycheck?
Yes, what is that? It's hard, isn't it, really? Because I think on social media, a lot of things, you have to come across as being so positive and everything. If you look at a lot of social medias, everything's going brilliantly and everyone's having the time of their lives. Yeah. But speaking truthfully and honestly, it's not always like that. It's hard. There's people don't see a lot of the rejections and knockbacks that you get, and that's tough. The industry is brutal at times. People get stopped from doing things because of gender, race, age. Many things, and people don't see that. and it is hard. There are things out there, services like obviously that we've spoken about, but then there's things like musicians union and help for musicians, PRS.
PRS.
There are people out there that can point you in the direction to sort of like get help in areas that you need, but it is hard, like you say. You know, it's a passion and you want to do well in it, but there's so many people out there doing it. It's not always a guarantee by any stretch of the imagination. So yeah, like you say, I mean, I think we all go through it, don't we?
Yeah.
Peaks and troughs. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes you just think, what is going on here?
Yeah.
How do I pick myself up and keep going with this?
Yes, that's valid points indeed. Yeah, I think music injury, especially as you've said, you know, is especially brutal. You know, if you don't fit, you know, if your face doesn't fit, that can often have an effect. But I suppose, you know, more generally, if you know, organisations like Mind are great. You can sort of have a look on their site and check out the forums they have for people who are going through similar experiences. I think that the biggest problem at the moment, as has been for many years now, is like the waiting list for like psychiatric or psychological support can often be like, you know, 8 to 10 weeks. And it's, you know, if you're going through a crisis, your first port of call unfortunately has to be 999. You know, there's not really as much specialised support for mental health. But hopefully that's changing, because as we're doing right now, you know, these conversations are coming to the fore, and you know, it's becoming more mainstream to talk about mental health, and it's important, and it should continue with more conversation like this.
Yeah, definitely.
It's put a bit of a downer on things, isn't it? You're right, though. I think you're right about social media as well. Like, you know, you only see mostly the best part of people's lives, don't you? You know, oh, look, I'm on holiday. I'm in a hot air balloon in Turkey or somewhere, you know. And yeah, you know, no one ever puts like the mundane stuff. Well, some people do. Some people are really boring on social media, actually. Anyway, we digress. Yeah. So, would you like to do another song for us, Alex? Actually, acoustically.
Yeah. I'll do a song called, I don't know, what do you reckon, Mark? Hours or Little Wonder? I'll let you choose.
I'll go Hours.
Gonna go Hours. Yeah. Okay, we'll go for Hours. And this is a track that again released on the EP last year, and with this track, did a lot of live streams and donated like sales that we made to Mind.
Nice.
So yeah, I think we raised £700 for Mind. So that was
cracking. Yeah, nice one.
Just nice to be able to use the time, being at home, getting some money together to go to a very worthy cause.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We'll do Mine. We'll do Hours. Yeah.
Simple to stop fate has left me where I stand. Open eyes and empty hands. I feel that I'm afraid these walls are closing in on each and every day we begin. Too many times, hours upon hours, we've wasted time side by side. To our kind, with all of this in mind, I'll follow. I got a feeling I'm not alone in thinking I'm alone. There's nowhere we can run. These boarded streets are dull and hollow. I need to get away. These walls are closing in on each and every day we begin. Too many times, hours upon hours, we've wasted time side by side. To our kind, with all of this in mind, I'll follow.
follow. Vacant smile landed on my eyes. Such heavy eyes. Oh why, oh why, oh why, oh why? Too many times, hours upon hours, we've wasted time side by side. To have God with all of this in mind, I'll follow, I'll follow, I'll follow. Hey. I got a feeling I'm not alone.
Thank you, man. Cheers.
It's all about you. That country extra.
Great. So up next, we're going to hear from another band on the lineup. Just tell us again a little bit more about the event for people who may have just tuned in.
Yeah, well, the event's called Community, kind of a subtitle of a celebration of West Midlands music. It's headlined by Alex. We've got Bryony Williams, who we've heard from, and the Humdrum Express. Brains for Breakfast is opening up. We've got Jack Cattell from Walsall, and we've also got the Pagans, Shepherds of Humanity,
Great band.
and Smokin Eskimo, as well as the Jack Fletcher band, who we're going to hear from in a moment.
Brill. So where did you first come across these acts? Where did you find them?
A fair few of them I'd seen already, or I'd been aware of them and just not been able to fit them into my hectic gig schedule. The two bands we're still to hear from, Smokin Eskimo and Jack Fletcher band, bizarrely, I've not actually seen in a full band environment yet. I went to school with Jack Fletcher's dad.
Oh, right, okay.
So that was kind of the door that was half ajar there to get back in touch with Andy and see whether Jack and the lads would be interested in playing Community. And Smokin Eskimo, again, another band that I just literally sort of emailed or sort of messaged them on Facebook and said, this is what I'm doing, I really like what you're doing, would you be interested? So they're the two acts that I have the least sort of relationship with, or had the least relationship with. That's now changed, but yeah.
Fair dues. We had Smokin Eskimo on the show, we had Chris on the show doing a solo acoustic. And I've got to say, he's phenomenal. When he's just by himself, with the band especially, it's such a big sound, and he's got really sort of Hendrixy guitar solos, and they had that harmonica player until recently. I think he left the band, unfortunately.
He has, yeah.
Okay. Which is a real shame, because that was great. Bro, okay, so let's hear the Jack Fletcher band. great track. So, of course, we're coming towards the end of the show now. Just like to say thanks very much, Alex and Mark, coming on the show. And thanks very much, Maz, for helping us out as well. And, yeah, is there anything else you want to add before we sort of wrap things up, Mark?
Just come and join us and be part of the community on Saturday at Newhampton Arts Centre.
Great. And where can they find tickets and things like that?
The venue website, there's links in all of the social pages that are set up for community_WMids as well.
Cool.
So very easily accessible.
Yeah.
Excellent. And hopefully it's the first of many to come.
I hope so, yeah. You know, it'd be great to keep shouting about how brilliant the West Midlands is in terms of its artists and really, you know, get everybody to see that.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Absolutely. Any final words from you, Alex?
Again, just reiterating what Mark said, just come down, join in, come and meet some different acts, experience different bands, and find bands that you're going to love and follow into the future. Because the Midlands is great, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
It's got some wicked acts.
Historically and contemporarily as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, come join us.
Grand. So we're going to finish off with a track from Smokin, Eskimo, and these are a brilliant bunch of lads. They've got a weird fusion of like Oasis and Jimi Hendrix. I don't know, we'd probably hate those descriptions, but they are phenomenal. Definitely go and see them as well. And yeah, enjoy. Thank you very much.
You got a license to go where you wanna go this time, but don't waste time, because the river is about to run dry, and the kingdom is breaking tonight, and the king will light the fuse on the dynamite. Oh yeah, the silence in town, 'cause all the dodgy nightclubs